I mean, if there's any religion that's fun, it's Satanism.
The Satanic Temple is the largest religious satanic organization in the world.
To be a Satanist, I believe it, and I'm very excited about it.
You guys excited about going to hell, so that's good.
It's the beauty of prime sequences. They just keep you humble.
Knock, knock. Come in. Mr. Furious? Yeah? I'm Officer Ramos. You're under arrest for being too smart.
For what now?
You rerouted every light in the city.
Yeah?
You're under arrest for excessive intelligence. Step away from the mic.
Wait, what? That's
it is
not
when
fair.
everyone in the comments can't keep up.
Almost there. Freedom. Home Sweet Studio.
Mic check. And we're live. I told you nothing can keep me off this mic.
All right. Deep state, deeper than that. It's going to get very deep. It's going to get very deep. And by all means, I'm not perfect. I'm bad. I'm a sinner. I'm not trying to push judgment on anybody. I'm just giving you what it says and what gives you the rules, basically. History, don't want to believe it. Well, it's right there in front of you. Let's just start off with what's going on. You know, I think it's a mess. This is the way it is. We're under this deeper state, okay? So, all right, Minnesota State Capitol.
And it reads, the Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers thanks Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol building. Satan has a special place for you. And that's what it says.
All right. So there they thank Tim Walz for not standing in the way of Satan worshipers. Whatever. Hey, everyone has a right, right? Everybody has the right. Now you got over here other capitals. It's all over. It's all over the country. All right. Here's in Iowa.
Satanic Temple.
We're going to really relish the opportunity to be represented in a public forum. We don't have a church on every street corner.
Lucian Greaves, co-founder of the Satanic Temple, says this satanic display is a symbol for their right of religious freedom. He says if you don't like it, don't look at it.
My feeling is that if people don't like our displays in public forums, they don't have to engage with them. They don't have to view them.
It's a very dark, evil force. And I truly hope people know how to battle that.
She calls it dark and evil and says Christians should spiritually fight against it.
One, I hope people realize spiritual warfare is real, that there are evil, satanic forces.
All right. So hope people know how to battle that, okay? Just let's get this one thing down first, okay? There are evil satanic forces, okay? It's true. I mean, listen, here you got some more people here.
People have a hard time with Satanism and taking it seriously because there is a humorous element to it, because they are having some fun. I mean, if there's any religion that's fun, it's Satanism.
The Satanic Temple is the largest religious satanic organization in the world. However, I think most people don't recognize that modern Satanism is largely non-theistic, and we don't venerate a personal Satan, but rather a metaphorical construct.
Hail Satan! It's a beautiful day here at the state capitol. Great day to be a Satanist. I believe it, and I'm very excited about it.
You guys excited about going to hell, so that's good. All right, let's go into about that woman talking about we got to fight this. All right, listen, this is just the truth here. Let's go into this here, okay? First of all, everyone says, but you should be like, if you want to be like Jesus, why you be like Jesus loved everybody? He's supposed to be. Listen, that's not the case. Everyone says that. Everybody always says, Jesus loved everybody. Listen, okay? This is right here. And people who know this, know the Bible a little bit would know this stuff, okay? People who say that they don't know anything. But it's in Matthew 10, okay, verse 34. Jesus said right here, do not suppose that I have come to bring peace on the earth, okay? I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. And then this is a little weird, but he says, For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. I mean, that happens all the time, in regular, even in, everywhere. Nobody likes their in-laws, right? Then it says, a man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Now, what that means is there's going to be people who don't accept the word, don't accept what's right. They go into this Satanist stuff. Even if they don't know they're Satanists, you are one, okay? You are one, even if you don't know you're one. And what he's saying is it's going to bring people turning against each other. And that's just the way it's going to be, because people aren't going to want to go to God. They're just going to want to go to evil. It's just natural. People do it. All right? This is Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time for everything, okay? A season for everything. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. That's us right here. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant, a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. I got to tell my wife that all the time. She likes to keep everything. I throw away stuff when she's not looking, and she still doesn't notice. She doesn't know, but they're gone, and, I don't think she still notices. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. There's a time to hate. And the last one, a time for war and a time for peace. So there is a time to hate and there is a time for war. It's the way it is. And the reason is for that is probably because of these two things. 2 Corinthians 4 and 1 John 2. And all right, let's go to this one first. Dear children, this is the last hour. And as you have heard that the Antichrist is coming, even now many Antichrists have come. You got that? Many have come. This is how we know it is the last hour. There's many of them here. Who is the liar? It is whoever denies that Jesus is the Christ. Such a person is the Antichrist. All right? That's an Antichrist. And basically, you could say, I don't have to say that. I could deny whatever I want. You can. But look at the world, okay? Look what's going on. All this stuff going on. Oh, why would God do this? Why would God make this happen? A friend of mine said that to me. Why would God make this storm happen? Well, I'm in New Jersey, by the way, this winter storm. Listen, there's never been a time, biblically or historically, where there's been peace on earth or where every single person universally obeyed God and the rules ever. Okay? So this world is not blessed because of that. Okay? Never has there been a time where there's always been a time where people are worshiping false gods and satanic demons and stuff that bring this stuff to us. So, we're doing it to ourselves. It's us. The world can't be blessed. All right. So the Our Father, the prayer says, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Okay. You're praying for that to happen, but it's not. It can't, because we're not all asking for that. You're literally asking Satan or demonic gods to help you, and some people don't even know they're doing it. Okay. 2 Corinthians 4. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. Now, the God of this age, the God of this world is Satan, okay? And he's blinded the minds of people to not even think about this stuff and just do what they're doing. All right, here's some more warnings. Could do what you want, like I said. That's why you have freedom of choice. You know, you give your free will, but he also warned you about what free will do. This is in Deuteronomy. Okay, the Lord will make you the head, not the tail, if you pay attention to the commands of the Lord, your God, that I give you this day, and carefully follow them. So that's kind of important right there. If you pay attention, the reason I circled that is because, like I said, I'm not holy by any means, and no, but people are actively like doing a total 180 from this. I mean, they're not even paying attention to this. They don't even care. I mean, how much better would it be if people at least paid some attention and understood it? That's a start right there. Okay? It says, do not turn aside from my commandments I give to you today. And it says, follow other gods. And that's what people are doing. They're following other gods. You don't know it. We're going to get to that. You don't even know you're following other gods. But you are. We have this character, Enoch, in the Bible, okay? And all right, here's another thing real quick before I get into this. People say, why should I believe that? It's a story. People back then, they believed anything. You could tell them, like, what do you think? People back then weren't smart? I mean, they were probably smarter than us. All right, so I usually ask somebody, I mean, maybe a couple times this came up, but people say, why should I believe that? That's not, that was written so long ago. And it's like, all right, I'd say to them, do you believe George Washington was the first president of the United States? And they're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, well, why do you believe it? They're like, well, it wasn't that long ago. We know that. I'm like, but you don't know anybody that knew someone that knew someone that knew him. I mean, that was such a long time ago, right? It was 1776 or whatever. You don't know anybody that knew him. Why do you know? How do you know that he was first president of the United States? And they usually say, well, because it was written, Well, that's what the Bible was written. It's an historical book, but it was just so long ago that you don't want to believe it. I mean, so can we argue that, all right, 2,000 years from now, you could argue and someone could say, I don't have to believe George Washington was the first president of the United States anymore because it was 2,000 years ago. It was written so long ago. I don't have to believe that anymore. All right. It's the same thing. It was written. This stuff was written and saved. All right. And kept protected, okay, by these early apostles and church fathers and people and saints, okay, that were with God before in the Old Testament, okay. And here's Noah, okay, Noah in the Bible, Noah's Ark, okay. Lamech was Noah's father, okay. Now Lamech was 56 years old when Adam was alive. I mean, these people lived a lot longer back then, okay? They were more pure. But Lamech was 56 years old when Adam died. So you don't, like, these people they passed down. They told each other. Adam told Lamech, hey, this is what happened. Lamech told Noah. I mean, that's how they knew this stuff. It was literally word of mouth to each other. Can't say, they forgot about that. That was so long ago. How'd they tell each other this stuff? They were there with each other. They knew each other. And here's Enoch. Enoch was the only man who never died. He walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Enoch lived for 365 years. Here it is, right here, what I just said. It's funny, man, that Jude 1, for certain individuals whose condemnation was written about long ago, have secretly slipped in among you. They are ungodly people who pervert the grace of God into a license for immorality and deny Jesus Christ, our only sovereign and Lord. They say to you, in the last times there will be scoffers who will follow their own ungodly desires These are the people who divide you, who follow mere natural instincts and do not have the spirit. This is how this all happened now, okay? Enoch explained this. And this is, first off, in the Bible. This is from Genesis right here. This is explains how this all came to this, okay? It's going to sound crazy to some people. It's called a cognitive dissonance, okay? That's a term that means when you believe something all your life and someone just hits you with something. I mean, you're going to have feelings of discomfort because it's something you don't understand, and that's okay. You don't get it, but this is it. It explains it. So it says the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. And the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Okay, now we're talking about a long time ago when the fallen angels, I'm sure you heard of them, and then people talk about demonic spirits or spirits. Where do you think this comes from? This is the Bible explaining this to you, okay? The book of Enoch, which isn't in the Bible, but Enoch is in the Bible, and he's referenced in the Bible. So I think it's okay to take a little bit of the book of Enoch and go into a little deeper of what that means. Here's the book of Enoch explaining in chapter 8 in the book of Enoch. I don't know their names, I can't pronounce these good, but moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint and beautifying of the eyebrows, the use of stones and every valuable and select kind, and of all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. Okay? These were the fallen angels that came down and that the Bible explains mated with women and had children called Nephilim. These were the men of renown. These were the people worshipped. Okay? They taught sorcery, observance of the stars, astronomy, things that were forbidden. And here it says, these are the names of the chiefs. I'm not even going to try to read these names. You see them here, the top ones. It's all in the yellow outline. Same thing it says in Genesis under here, number 10. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the divided of roots and trees. I don't know what that is, and the women conceiving brought forth giants. That's the Nephilim. They were supposed to be big. All right. Now you're asking, what is that? That's all crazy. Well, listen. Here's the gods that the people worship. All right. Got the Roman gods. You got Jupiter, Juno, Minerva, Mars. These are these people. These are the Nephilim. These demonic fallen angels. These are the names for them. Okay. This is not the one God. The Most High. This is all these. They were worshiping these people that they weren't supposed to be, teaching them these prohibited technology and stuff that wasn't supposed to be. Okay, that's why this world is fallen. Here's all the gods they worshipped. And then here's the Greek gods. Look at this. The same gods, just by different name. They just called them something different. Same ones. These same fallen angels, they worship them like gods. They weren't. They polluted them. That's the thing. The God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. They blind you to worship them and not God the Most High. There's the Egyptian gods. You notice those Greek gods and the Roman gods? There's 12 of them, right? 12. There's 12 of them. All the same, just by a different name. Okay? They're all worshiping the same thing. Same gods. And then that's another thing too, right? People still want to know, how do these Egyptians build these pyramids? No one can figure it out. That's how they did it. It just told you in there. They came down and they taught them this ancient technology that you weren't supposed to know. Okay, they weren't supposed to know this stuff. They were worshiping these gods that you're not supposed to. Here's the Anasazi gods. They became the Puebla, Pueblo Indians. Navajo. They were also Navajo Indians. Here's theirs. Same thing. The Indians, they worship these same things. These giants. These things on they're carved on the wall. These giants, these Nephilim. That's what it is. The Bible explains what it is. And here's an interesting clip from a guy. There he is, named Thomas Horn. This guy, you could look him up on YouTube. Type in Thomas Horn. Things pop up all the time. This guy is he's an author, investigative journalist. He's actually traveled all over the place to talk to these people to try to connect the dots, with all this stuff, this ancient civilizations with the biblical stuff now. And he's actually, it's an interesting little clip here. But
as Dr. Mose described these ancient tales, I couldn't help but think of David killing Goliath, and then later other giants with his mighty men. Then there was a point where Mose paused, and he said, when the Christian missionaries first came to America and told our people their stories of the giants and the great flood, he said, we smiled and let them know that we already knew these stories, that they had been told to us long ago by our own ancestors.
I'll see that. So he goes and talks to these Anasazis natives that were here. They're in the Colorado area, Arizona, New Mexico area. And he's like, yeah, these Christian missionaries used to come to us and talk to us about the Bible and about the Great Flood. And they're like, we knew about our grandfather, great-grandfather, they have stories that were passed on to us. They all knew about this already. They knew about this. They worship these false gods, these demonic Nephilim and stuff that their great ancestors worshipped because they were forced to, because we're in a demonic world. But they all knew the truth. They all knew really what happened. Even they knew what happened. And that's another thing. Now it's funny. Now it's coming to light. I'm gonna up. I don't have it right now, but I'll put it up. The clip. I forget the guy's name. He has a documentary on Netflix called Ancient Civilizations. They're like figuring it out now. Like, oh yeah, maybe there was this worldwide flood that wiped out everything, because look at all this stuff, evidence we have. They're figuring it out now. The Bible told you this. It explained this to you, all right? Like, that's what I'm saying. People, that the Bible is a book that explained how everything happened, what's gonna happen. If you go this route, you're gonna get, this is gonna happen, okay? This is an interesting one right here. Deuteronomy 28, same thing. I didn't read this before. It says, however, if you do not obey the Lord your God, says, all these curses will come on you and overtake you. You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. There you go. You're right. You don't have to. You could do what these people are doing. Monuments in the state capitals. But there's the warning. Okay, there's the warning. Huh? If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands I give you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. You will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. This here is Galatians 5. The acts of flesh are obvious: sexual immorality, impurity and debauchery, idolatry and witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissensions, factions, and envy, drunkenness, orgies, and the like. I warn you, as I did before, that those who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God. And the reason I circled who live like this It's because we're all human. We all sin. I'm one of the worst, okay? But if you live like this, if you make it like those people were talking about, that girl in there in the Satanic temple, whatever she was saying, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, she's literally like we all have our things, all these things it says in here. Yeah, all right, yeah. This Look, we're humans. It's built into us, but you got to know, like, ah, damn, like, all right, control, self control. You're human. You're gonna have it. These are emotions, but if you just say, "Yeah, the heck with it. I love these emotions. I'm gonna do it." That's what he's talking about. You can't live like that. You can't just say, "This is it." Live like wild animals. That's not. God understands you're human. That's why he's here for you. That's why you need him. Okay? But if you just give your emotions to Satan and just say, "Screw it, this is how I'm going to be," then that's the punishment, and that's why what we're seeing today. This is the punishment we have. Okay? There's more from Deuteronomy. It says, "Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or who is a medium or spiritist, or who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord." All right? And when you talk to these mediums, I don't care what they say, they could tell they don't know. They're tricked too. Remember, 2 Corinthians 4:4. The God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. Okay? So these mediums you're talking to, I'm sorry, you're not talking to your loved ones. You're not. Okay? You're talking to demonic spirits that are tricking you. All right? They are blinding you. All right? You don't have to believe it. I'm just letting you know, if you don't believe it and you wanna continue to live like this, okay? It's not going to be good. So I'm just trying to help you out here. Here's Marina Abramovich. And everyone loves her. Yeah, here's Jay-Z with her at one of her spirit cooking events. No big deal. Here's her right here. She's an artist, by the way. Let me tell you about her real quick, I guess, before we get into any more of this. She's an artist, okay? Body art. She's done things all over the world. People love her art. They go to see her. It's not really a little strange. Right there, mimicking the cross. See that? I mean, what's that? Come on. Here's the spirit cooking. Okay? Mix fresh breast milk with fresh sperm milk. Come on. All right? Witchcraft. Okay? And here's the people who attend this. Look at this. This is the problem right here. Look at that. It's Hugh Jackman. Look at it. It's a body right there. It's a human body, and this stuff, you eat off of it. Look at the little kid right there. There's a kid to this. There's a kid in the back behind Hugh Jackman. See? Look at that little kid. Like, wow, look at that. Hey, Dad, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, son. This is cool. This is art. You know that? This is art. You're going to grow up, man. You're going to learn more about this stuff. You're not going to know. This is the next generation. You're not going to know about God. You don't need to know about him. You're going to be another unbeliever, and you're just going to be blinded for the rest of your life. And you're going to be taught and guided by the God of this world. Right? Good one right there. And for those people that think Satan's good for them, he's not. And it says here, look, and no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. All right, he'll make you think like you're not bad. This isn't a bad thing. Come on, you're not doing nothing bad. Jesus is talking right here. He says, why is my language not clear to you? Because you are unable to hear what I say. All right, you've been blinded. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth. There is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So these people who think, yeah, Satan's good, he's not bad to us. He's a liar, okay? He is a liar. He's no good. He's the father of lies. He's deceitful. So you think he's cool, you think you're cool, you think that he comes as an angel of light, okay? And he's a liar. It's written. It tells you that. And then you got these people. Look at who shows up at these things, right? Lady Gaga eating off the thing. And the pictures you got. I mean, Will Ferrell's there. They just don't know. I mean, they probably don't know they're taking part of it, but they are, whether you know it or not, right? You don't even know you're taking part of it, but you are. Okay, it's like if you go in the backyard and you have fun, you do a Ouija board or something. It's for fun. You're actually taking part in it. Okay, you're doing it, and I know this is a little weird, but all right. Like even don't take my wife does it. She did it. Used to do it, but like yoga, for example. Like you got to stretch in these things, and I mean they do the they hymn, all these other things go involved with that. You have in the Bible there explains things to do for that. I mean, why are you when you hymn and all that stuff? You're basically communicating with these entities. Okay, why hey, I'm just doing it. It relaxes me. Okay, it's probably fun, and it probably does, but you're still actively cooperating with this. You're still doing it. You don't even know you are. All right, these poses. You're posing as these gods and goddesses that on the altar. You're posing as them. Go ahead. I mean, whatever. I'm just letting you know that that's what you're doing. All right. And it does open doorways and it does bring in bad energy. You might feel good. You might think you feel good, but Satan comes as an angel of light. Okay. And he makes you feel good. And he's also blinded the minds of unbelievers. So you can think all you want, but you can open doors. People think it's a tool for health, mindfulness, self-care. But either way, it's not. You're not believing in the one true God who's supposed to do this for you. And if everybody does it together, that's the problem. That's why we're not going to have the God's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven, and it will never be. I mean, we already know that in the book of Revelation that explains it. And you could argue that the movement, the stretches are just physical movements. Why do those particular poses then of those actual particular gods and stuff? Like why? Why not stretch another way? Think about it. You're posing in that particular, form of that particular idol. Why? Here's a few clips of an ex-instructor just explaining a little bit about that.
Is yoga actually demonic? Is it actually something to be concerned about? Or is it a bunch of just paranoia from these religious Christians thinking everything's demonic? Well, let me tell you, 2 years ago, I was a certified yoga instructor with hundreds of hours of training. And it was my passion. My passion was healing. My passion was helping people heal. Yoga is a whole different animal. This isn't just stretching and physical exercise. Many of the yoga poses are actually used to worship specific gods and goddesses. And not all of them. Many others have actually benefits to the body, to the organs, to the nervous system, to the anatomy of the human body. But others are specific poses and sequences to worship the sun, to worship specific gods like Shakti and Shiva and Ganesha. And there are literal demons that created this religion, that created this spiritual discipline. The Vedas were written by the ancient sages who received divine revelation about the discipline of yoga, about merging one's soul with the universal consciousness, Brahma, they call it. That's the thing. People get into this and they start seeing results in yoga, and the devil's going to give you results as long as he can lead you away from Christ and the truth. In the end, if you are doing yoga, you are opening up doors to demons that can get into your mind and lead you away from Christ slowly. And that's the master of the devil's deception, is the 90% truth and the 10% falsehood that leads you to hell.
All right, and that's it. But the more you deep dive into anything, the more you pick up on stuff and gets more comfortable for you to understand it. And that's just all I could say about that. Just deep dive into more of it. Try to pick up on more of it. Maybe you understand more of it, and it makes you understand it. You get it a little more clearer. Okay, that's all I could say about that. I hope you can pick up on that. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment on anything you like or didn't like.